That was a very good game, you've got to say. And the thing that I think we need to stress is, you know, this isn't a walkover like maybe I originally thought it would be. You've got to give Phantom, you know, the credit. The CTF, one flag. The S&D, overtime. So it's all been decided essentially just by, you know, that one moment of brilliance, which that's just the bit that TCM have extended on. They have that, as you said, the X factor sort of thing. And, you know, that's been the difference. And we are going to get going with CTF Dome. And, you know, CTF Dome is one of those maps where it's really high-paced. And considering the way Phantom came out of the blocks in the S&D, wouldn't surprise me if we saw, you know, similar aggression right now. But we're going to get on board with Delta. It's going to be TCM we're going to be on board with first. And we're going to be on board with Rich, obviously 32 seconds before this game gets underway. Predictions?
Well, Dome's probably my favorite map to watch.
Yeah.
It's very fast-paced, as you mentioned. But TCM, I've seen Mac play this map marvelously. So yeah. I have a feeling that this is going to be his big round.
It's going to be his moment to shine, proving exactly why TCM have picked him up. And you know what? We'll get on board with him straight away, actually. We will change. We're on board with Rich. Interesting, Rich opting to use Scavenger. That's not something you see that frequently in CTF. We see it more in S&D, strangely, but we are going to get straight on board with Mac, and he's going to be using a sleight of hand with the kick proficiency, getting a top dome, cooking that nade. Can he connect? He needs to be careful he doesn't kill his teammate, and oh, that's exactly what he does. Not the greatest start here for Mac. He saw his team. I'm not entirely sure what was going through his mind, but anyway, we'll stay on board with him. Jonah getting the nice two-piece, taking down Flux and Rich, but Mac immediately puts a halt on that and takes down Jonah. But, oh, there's Craig mid-map, takes down Mac. Jake responds by taking down Craig. So lots of kills being exchanged early on.
And Rich right now backing up Flux there. He's decided to rotate around Dome here.
Interesting enough, the flag has just been pulled in. He opted to run backwards as opposed to maybe trying to get a bit more map control, but obviously both flags now are away and we may be in for a stalemate.
Just a big rotation happened there between both sides.
Yeah, that was quite nice play coming from both teams there, but we're on board with Rich, and he's got himself in a very nice position as he looks to be trying to flank. He is going to see two, though, but Jonah instinctively turns and gets the kill on Rich. Flux takes down Craig, pulls out the pistol, going for the spectacular, but that isn't going to happen just yet, and he gets dropped as well by Jonah. So Jonah off to an absolute flyer, and let's have a look. Obviously, John Jr. has the flag for Phantom. Jake with the flag for TCM. We're on board with Rich, needs to make this kill. Obviously, he is supporting the flag carrier that is Jake. Stuns but fails. Actually landed inside the dome. I think he's got stunned himself. Mac does take down Kiwi, though. And let's have a look how Rich is going to play this. If he opts to challenge this, I don't really agree with that, if I'm honest. I mean, risky play. That to me, that says the Phantom player must have gone top down.
Well, it was Jonah who we saw do the fly across the screen there, and it, I mean, one of the TCM players I think it was Flux, picked him up.
Ah, okay.
So Rich was a bit paranoid, I don't think, for much of a reason there. He's going to be in a precarious position here.
Needs to be a little careful. Jumps and challenges, he is going to get the kill as well. So nice play by Rich. You see him try and pre-fire the corner where he thought the Phantom play was going to be, but Kiwi playing smart actually was in the other corner. It's one of those 50-50 things you've got to do, haven't you? You've got to jump the corner and shoot. You know there's going to be support. And immediately Kiwi has picked up that flag. And, you know, most people will be saying right now, why are the Phantom guys keeping the flag underground? Why are they not trying to get it into the base so they can get the easy cap? Well, the answer to that is very simple. By him being there, he ensures that all of his teammates are going to be spawning on top of him, so it's going to be constant reinforcement, whereas TCM, you know, they could spawn the opposite side from their flag carrier, leaving him really vulnerable. And, you know, that is actually what we're seeing as Rich comes into a gunfight, not entirely sure where he's getting shot from. And let's have a look now. It looks like, yep, all the Phantom guys are still going to be underneath there. And, you know, they may actually settle for this stalemate.
It's you know, it's not a bad strategy, to be fair. Not a bad strategy here.
Oh, that's a nice play by Rich. Craig does take down Jake. Now you're going to have to see Rich. He has to be aggressive here, because if that flag gets returned, you can guarantee that Phantom are going to be trying to rush straight out. And oh, don't agree with that. Rich gets a very easy kill. Not entirely sure what went through Kiwi's mind there to actually challenge that. And Rich gets another very nice kill. But both flags again off spawn. And Rich is just on a rampage right now. Finally gets shut down by Kiwi, though, and we get on board with Flux. He has the flag, so we will go ahead and change. See someone more aggressive. Mac running around with the pit. If he gets a kill like this, this will be extraordinary. But we'll stay on board just out of interest. No, he gets knifed.
There's two knives at once there. Jake grabbing one of his own there.
Who are we on board with now? Let's have a look. It is going to be Rich And, you know, this is the problem TCM have got. When they spawn, they have to check the loading bay area, which is exactly where John Jr. is coming from. And Flux needs to make that kill. No! John Jr. with a clutch, but what? Oh, three-piece! Oh, my days, with the pistol takes down Jake. And can he get the fourth? Ooh, that would have been absolutely amazing, but Mac was able to put a stop to it, but the flag didn't get returned. That is ultimately the aim. I mean, the three-piece is good, don't get me wrong, but didn't return the flag. So,
but we saw Rich coming, like, Rich was just around the corner coming through Dome, so the positioning that he was in didn't really help.
Absolutely. I mean, although, interestingly, Phantom now actually have the enemy flag in this in the vacant area now, so you know his teammates aren't necessarily going to spawn on top of him anymore. So for 34 seconds, essentially, he can be quite vulnerable. It's Jonah with the flag, so if TCM can try and push that loading bay side, you know the flag carrier is going to be very, very vulnerable, and they could maybe sneak the 1-0 lead. And that's exactly what I just said. Flag has been dropped. Can they get the return? You see Rich just being very, very cautious. Doesn't just want to run in and give away a flag, but no. Immediately picks up. Dropped again, though. Jake with the two-piece gets the pistol. Oh, very nice play by Jake. And TCM take a 1-0 lead.
TCM there playing that very smart. They, you know, like the Phantom guys trying to take it underground. A pretty good strategy to try to grab the stalemate there, but it fell apart rather quickly there as soon as you know, Jonah had a really nice play there with the three-piece, but unfortunately, Rich, I think.
Yeah, it was Rich. Just couldn't get that return. I mean, that was obviously the most important thing. We will go ahead and change team and give you Phantom's perspective, and let's have a look who's playing very well. John Jr. is going 8-8. Oh, you've got to say Jake, 11-7 right now. He's having quite a good game, but we will stay on board with, I think this is Jonah, who's very heavily stunned. I was actually able to pick off a kill and all that stunning, but you know, you've got to feel sorry for the Phantom guys there because it was one of those unfortunate situations. They had to try and cap that flag, but unfortunately they couldn't get the return. And ultimately that was the thing that led to the demise and TCM 1-0. But again, you know, that first CTF we saw on Bootleg was only one flag. And it's the same right now, although I say that TCM have just gone in very hard there, three-piece. And Kiwi is going to have to do a little bit of defensive work. Does get one front door. Where's the... oh, no, the flag. Let's have a look. He is going to be running loading bay, but Rich takes down Kiwi, and this could well be 2-0.
And on board with Jonah now. He's going to watch as Craig's taken out. 4:10 on the clock right now. We're seeing the flag here right there.
What?
It's going to be a drop there.
Oh, that is great play by Jonah.
Mac. Now he's going to get the return right as he's dropped there by Mac on the revenge frag. And
let's have a look. I'm not entirely sure why the TCM player didn't just go and cap it. Interestingly, he opted not to cap it and go behind the flag. He anticipated there was going to be a play there, but I mean, he could have jumped that. I mean, Jonah wasn't in a good enough position to try and stop it. But TCM on a rampage right now. They're getting another 3 down. Craig left all by himself. Does get the knife on Rich. Just trying to anticipate where that flag is going to be run. It looks like they've run it underground, so the same as what we saw Phantom do last round, just dictating the spawn. So, I mean, Flux is now going to know that anyone that dies is ultimately going to spawn on top of him, giving maximum support and coverage. And there we go. We see another 2 players die. John Jr. does get the flag carrier there with a nice nade. And what can Kiwi do? Let's have a look. Nice play.
Nice, and the flag's now out in the open there.
2-piece. He's gone for the montage clip, pulls out the pistol, and it swaps it out. I mean, you know, they've got the 2 Phantom players there, but you've got to say, if they spawn on the ground, still no one. There we go. Finally, the flag is returned. 3 minutes still to play. Phantom still very much in this game.
The Phantom players didn't seem too organized off of the, you know, the flag was in a great position for them to protect it. You know, it was going to be hard for the TCM guys to keep that alive, but they, the Phantom guys looked like they could have almost given that up. Now we're going to see the flag pinched there by Kiwi as he watches one of his teammates take out Flux. Now John Jr. is going to take out the Max. So TCM now with 3 down, and
Kiwi could do this as long. Oh no, he gets dropped there by Jake.
Jake there with a 2-piece. Rich there also backing up as Jonah is taken out. Craig now on board with him. He's going to grab Jake. He manages to pull off Rich there, but Flux is going to pull him down to the ground and end his spawn there.
Very hectic right now. Lots of kills being exchanged mid-map. 2 minutes 8 still to play. Just the 1 flag in it once again. I mean, we saw it, like I said earlier on, in the first game of CTF Bootleg. We're seeing it again, CTF Dome. And, you know, Phantom, they just seem to be coming so close, essentially. I mean, we've seen it a few times now. They pulled the flag, got very close to capping it, and just couldn't do it. Craig has just seen Max spawn. He's going to challenge with a pistol. Misses the first few shots. Oh, jumps the corner. Nice play by Craig, getting Mac with the pistol. Jake responds by taking out John Jr. with the nade. Rich as well with the frag there on Jonah. And, you know, it just seems to be the story of the game. You know, Phantom get a few plays down, TCM, you know, immediately respond by getting the same amount of plays down. And it's just so tough for Phantom right now to try and get this flag away.
Right now, Craig, though, confidence-wise, must be feeling really good as
Let's have a look at the scoreboard.
he's going to pull the flag here. He had a couple good kills there. That Mac on the back foot would you know, just, I think, it help inspire you to play a bit better. So hopefully we're going to see that happen right now. Not that Craig has you know, is disappointed very much or often, but Jake's going to drop him and get the return.
And interestingly, TCM have actually pulled the flag away. It's Mac with the flag. Jonah is in probably one of the only positions where he can put a stop to this. And he is going to get nothing but hit markers. Mac is going to be very weak indeed, but opting to drop back down underground and ultimately, again, forcing his teammates to spawn on top of him. Very intelligent play right there from Mac. Maybe not so much intelligent play for standing out in the open, but still, the flag is underground. Can Jonah get the return? But at the same time, this is the problem for Phantom, being one flag down. Not only do they need to think about the return, they need to think about pulling the flag, and there is Flux and Jake able to pick off 2 kills each, and also Jake taking out Kiwi, John Jr. all by himself. Now that flag has been picked up, and that is going to go in now as no one is going to be in position to stop, and that is going to be 2-0 to TCM, and it's safe to say with 22 seconds left, TCM are going to win this best of 5 3-0 and advance into winners bracket number 4.
That was an interesting round there from a TCM perspective, because they were put into a very bad position there once Mac was dropped with the flag, and unfortunately the Phantom guys just couldn't organize themselves enough to be able to, you know, protect that flag. And then Craig, in fact, you know, made a hard push to try to get the return, but was dropped almost immediately at the bottom of the stairs when he went underground. So TCM there playing very strategically with how, you know, ultimately not the greatest positioning by Mac, which could have been a costly mistake, but it wasn't, as Phantom and TCM here shake hands as we move on to the next winners bracket game, which we'll find out soon. But what were you going to say?
I was just about to say, I definitely think we're going to see a bit more from TCM. That didn't seem like they were at 100% there. It seemed like
not
maybe,
at all.
You know, they seem to be just living life on the edge a little bit. You know, leaving it one flag and 2 flags.
You have to wonder, though. I think sometimes a game like that, it's a really nice time to kind of just try to figure out what the kind of the limits of what you're going to be able to get away with. Yeah. And I think the first map kind of showed that Phantom, you know, they're going to bring it a little bit. They're going to play most games. They kind of alternated between some rounds they were playing very patiently, like a top team would do. Yeah. Other rounds they were coming in with their chicken with their heads cut off. Headless chickens. The Phantom guys were headless chickens, but TCM actually were doing the same thing. It was just very back and forth, and we saw Phantom take advantage of that, because I think TCM probably weren't expecting that. I think they thought, you know what, we're going to walk into this and see exactly what we can get away with. We'll be playing very, very aggressively, you know, working some setups, because ultimately, especially with the search and destroy maps, when you don't have a respawn, if you play aggressively and you're trying to rotate the map just to work on positioning and so on against a team like Phantom, who are coming in from a much lower seed, you have to actually play aggressively in order to put yourselves in those situations, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so you have to wonder if perhaps TCM were doing that, and you know, some of the rounds where they looked weaker, they were actually working on a bit of tactics for further along in the competition. Of course, it's it's worked out for them. Not very much of a problem here as they kind of walk over the 3 maps that they played against Phantom. Phantom are going to drop down into